Last time on Square Roots, Loki teaches our heroes some Randian philosophy and convinces them that taxation is theft, so they kill some ghosts. Later, two shirtless buff unicorns give Ray's house a flaming makeover, a princess has fun with words in a graveyard, and we meet a scientist with a library full of pornography, a little robot named Honey, and a big vibrating rocket. Yeah, girl, live your truth.
Everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hello.
John, let's see, what's a good name for Johnny this week?
Stallion.
Ooh, yeah. I think I called him that last time. What's that, John? Johnny?
What's the name? I can't remember the name of this Chrono Trigger place. Zool?
That's not the Chrono Trigger place.
Yeah, it is. That's like it's the 20,000 BC.
Oh, it is.
Jim,
I see the little pyramid
John
building.
The Brood.
Okay. John Chrono Trigger shirt Brandon. Johnny Chrono
That's
Trigger shirt
good.
Brandon.
John the Brood.
I would have accepted Brood Daddy too.
Ooh, Brood Daddy.
And Vanessa.
That's me.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about our favorite classic RPGs.
That's not your catchphrase.
That was amazing.
Vanessa, for 171 episode, or no, 160, 158 episodes or so, maybe less, 150 episodes, you've been saying one thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I just thought I'd change it up a little bit,
It's a
see
new
how
day.
it felt.
So what was it? Cha-cha-cha, it's Vanessa?
Yes, it is.
Was that your new catchphrase?
I'm Vanessa.
Oh. Yay!
And we...
Boy, John, way to bully it out of her. That was,
John doesn't like change, I guess.
I guess. Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
So what do we do here? We play video games.
Way to ask yourself a
we
question and then
play
answer it, you
video
fucking weirdo.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Who am I? Matthew Van Zandt.
It was a hypothetical that I
We're
answered.
some professional gamers, and this is our game zone.
That's true.
Zone.
I get paid per game I play, and I make so much money, you guys. And I also, you know how in video games sometimes you can get points? Well, I'm such a pro gamer that when that happens with me, I get money instead of points. And I don't even have to do that anymore. Like, it's so easy.
Someone on the Facebook group was suggesting that, you know how we play a classic RPG one chunker at a time?
Yeah.
They're suggesting that if we did Dark Souls, that Matt would quit out of rage. But I think Matt might be the one who finishes it. And the rest of us... Because Matt is the best of video
I definitely would be the one that finished it. If you make me
maybe Jim.
do it, I can do something over and over again until I beat it. I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
That's my one skill as a gamer. It's
I
not
don't like
thinking on
to
the fly.
die.
It's not being really good. It's just doing something, banging my head against the wall over and over and over again until I win.
I don't like dying in a game, and I believe that Dark Souls is a very die-heavy game because all the time I'm seeing, you died, and it's rude, I didn't. I live forever.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is a good point, right?
That song in Fame, Fame from Fame is written about you.
I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. Fame.
Hi.
Something.
Gonna make it to heaven?
I'm gonna make it to heaven. People will see me and die.
Where are we at in the show so far? Right now, I think I need to ask Jim, what kind of podcast are we? I think we're that far along.
I think I answered that, though. Asked and answered, bud.
Yeah, we
All right.
play video
Remember-
games.
Yep, we play classic RPGs one chunker at a time.
That's a little more specific.
Yeah.
That's
I like
been
to play one
established.
chonker at a time, but, you know, you do you.
And now we're in part 3 of 20 of Breath of Fire 3.
Yeah, this is a long game. It's dense, is what it is. It's not so much that it's long in a way. It's just that it's dense.
Just like me.
Oh, John,
Ladies,
don't nag
sorry.
yourself.
Gentlemen.
I was raising and lowering my eyebrows like Milhouse.
Oh, I see. I thought that you were referring to your mental capacity, but you were referring to a physical attribute.
Yeah.
Understood.
Oh, anyway. So, before we start, how about Jim helps us by telling us how he leveled up, not how we leveled up.
I would love to know that because I feel like Jim has been a little absentee recently.
I've been super busy, guys. I worked like something like 50 hours last week. But I did go see a local like punk band showcase the other night, and they weren't the headliners, but they were the ones right before the headliners, and they were a super gimmicky band of guys in gorilla masks and Hawaiian shirts with bananas on them who played like surf rock.
Ah,
That
the
sounds
Gorillas.
fun.
The Go-Go Gorillas.
With Damon Albarn.
Yeah, they did that
Yeah.
song that's like,
That one.
cool,
Get the
cool shoe
Get
shine.
the
It
cool
was not
shoe
really the
shine.
Go-Go
Cool shoe
Gorillas, though, was
shine.
it, Jim?
It was the Go-Go Gorillas.
You cannot call yourself the Gorillas in this day and
Hold
age,
on,
band.
hold on.
Listen, you just can't
I'm
do it.
happy. I'm
I
feeling
bought a post-
sad.
I got a poster.
Sunshine in a
Bag.
bag of use. Okay, let's see. He's gonna prove it.
Go-Go.
Wow.
Sorry, Go-Gorillas.
Oh.
And then that's their poster. They
So-
wear gorilla
Sure is a
masks and
poster.
fezzes.
It is a bunch of gorillas dressed as Shriners.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And that was okay. That's how I leveled up.
Shika, shika, shika.
That's a good level up.
Yeah. John, how did you level up?
Shika, shika.
Let's see. I did a few things actually. I played
All right, good level
some.
up. No, sorry.
My roommate once again tested my resolve by leaving an open jar. Well, not open, but a opened jar of Nutella near me, and that was a mistake.
Did you put your fingers in it?
No, I just put a big spoon in it.
No.
Is
Repeatedly.
that bad? Should you not do that?
Wait, did you
Well, I
lick the
shouldn't eat-
spoon and then put the spoon back in for
No.
another taste?
No, I
Did
only
you
had one
eat
giant
all of
scoop at a
his
time.
Nutella.
One
at
giant
a time, he says.
at
So
a
you
time.
ate the whole jar of Nutella, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I bought because I'm a good roommate. I bought him another jar.
I think it's okay to lick the spoon and put it back in if you're going to finish it in that session.
Oh, I will. I can't eat a whole jar of Nutella at once. That would kill everyone. I think that's a lot of sugar.
That's it, you guys. You guys heard it on Square Roots hashtag Nutella Challenge. Eat a whole jar of Nutella in one sitting.
Yeah, if you take the Nutella challenge, tweet us at Square Roots Pod and
Remember
then
how-
call your doctor.
That hold your Wii for a Wii thing
What?
killed that lady,
What are you
And-
talking about?
and then they got sued. So let's not
Excuse
do
me?
that.
Remember
Don't eat
like
a whole.
the cinnamon challenge where you had to eat a mouth or like a whole big heaping
Eat a
spoonful
mouth.
of cinnamon?
Yes, the cinnamon challenge where you had to eat a mouth.
Eat a
It was
mouth
really
of cinnamon.
gross.
That's
Eat a cinnamon
terrifying.
mouth.
Remember the Meow Meow challenge where we stretched our mouths out like birds and devoured children?
That was a challenge.
No.
Yeah.
I thought we just did
What
it.
the fuck?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That was like a YouTube thing for kids, like a urban legend, like a Slender Man.
Yeah, Meow Meow's gonna get you.
Or-
Meow Meow? You mean Momo?
It's Momo.
That weird
That's
bird
Momo.
thing? It's just
Yeah.
M-O-M-O. It's Momo.
Meow Meow.
It's not Meow Meow.
It's Meow Meow.
That's not it's not Meow Meow Beans. That's the thing. John,
Yeah,
Meow Meow Beans.
I do love Meow Meow Beans.
What is a Meow Meow bean?
If you're not cool enough to have watched Community, I don't know what to tell you. John, what did you just show us?
Oh, I'm trying to get through this lighthouse timing thing while we do it. Anyway, but it's still my level up, isn't it? So I should probably. So Matt and I both bought a game called
You bought it too?
Fire Emblem.
You didn't tell me you bought it.
Mabim Bam.
When did you buy it?
Yesterday.
I'm so excited that you bought it, John. I'm
But I
really
also-
excited to have somebody to talk to about this game.
I haven't
really
had a chance to start it.
You're gonna like it.
It's
Boy,
just sitting on my Switch.
if you like slice of life anime visual novel bullshit like I do, you're gonna love it.
I wouldn't like that at all.
What?
Oh,
but you
but-
love Persona.
But you love Persona.
It's not the same thing, though.
Oh, Jimothy. It is just like fucking Persona, except instead of going to the tower to fight things, you go get into little tactic battles.
Can
But other
you
than that-
romance sweet floppy-haired
you can
anime
do so
boys?
much of that shit. You can romance people. You can like force people together and like make them romance each other.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that like-
amazing.
Oh my god!
Isn't this one like fantasy medieval setting kind of a thing?
Listen,
Yeah.
it's not. They're always fantasy medieval settings.
See, I
That's
don't
not the
like
point.
that.
The point is that no.
Modern
The point is
setting
that
or bust, buddy.
it is like Persona in like Persona 5. It is Persona 5, but instead of the tower, it's tactics battles.
And
It's
also
so good.
everything else is
I'm
different.
so excited about it.
Well, I'm glad you
I'm
liked
excited that it's installed on my Switch, and as soon as there's things I have to play tonight, and we'll talk about that later.
I played it while I edited today, and it kept me perfectly occupied. It was delightful and wonderful.
Also, I'm really addicted
And that's
to
why on the
playing-
last episode you heard all that vape and coughing and shit that I didn't notice because I was playing. Listeners, I apologize. No, I'm kidding. I cut all that out. I did the best job.
I also am really having fun playing Borderlands 2 with Vanessa. It's like a sort of a Dadaist approach to getting through that game, I think.
I haven't played it since the first time you guys played it, and I'm bummed out. I really want to join back in.
Oh, you can. Yeah, we'll try
I
to
know,
play.
I just haven't been home when you were playing.
Yeah. I recommend it. You can watch us do so
Playing with
on
Vanessa.
Twitch. Playing with Vanessa is interesting, and she sets personal goals which are amazing. And not really anything to do with the progression of the game or story, but you certainly do get to explore the map and learn a lot about Pandora and its inhabitants.
I think that setting personal goals is a big part of any role-playing game.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how I play every Bethesda game.
Mm-hmm. So, I know what I want, and my character's gonna get it.
All right. Well, I think that's it for my level up. Vanessa, speaking
Yeah.
of knowing what you want, what did you want to level up this week?
I have been trying to play a game called Witness, based on the Harrison Ford movie of the same name.
That's cool.
Mhm.
What are you playing it on?
The PlayStation 4.
Cool.
Witness is a game that my friend Johnny told me was not for ladies because...
What? That's not what I said.
Oh,
What? What?
what did you say, John?
Yo, John, what did you say?
I said that I wasn't super psyched about giving them money to play it because the guy, Jonathan Blow, went nutty on me on Twitter because he started talking about how ladies are biologically predisposed to not be able to program, and that's why there's not women programmers because of gender roles and gender dimorphism.
That's
He
a
sounds
good
cool.
theory. Mm-hmm. I like it because it lets you ignore a issue in your industry by pretending that it's nothing to do with you or systematic behavior that keeps women from joining it.
I think he means systemic.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow, John. Good
Hello,
Lord.
boy, John, you need a time out, my friend. And you owe Vanessa an apology.
Anyway,
Written.
John said
Start that now.
that I wouldn't be able to play The Witness because of my period, but
That was Jonathan Blow that said that.
That's John's alter ego. He goes by he's Johnny Brandon until he starts to get mad at women, and then he's Jonathan Blow.
Oh no!
anyway, it's okay. It's a puzzle game. It's mazes, mostly, with some, what do you call them, tanagrams, and just kind of simple logic puzzles. It's not hard. It teaches you how to do it as you go. So you'll come to like a new area, and it will give you a very simple one, and then you move on to more and more complex ones.
How far along in the game are you? I hear it gets pretty hard.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I think I've done, like, at the end of each section, like, laser gun goes off, and I've done, like,
What?
3 laser guns.
That's a lot of laser guns, though.
Yeah, I don't know how many there are total, but I feel like I've made good progress.
That's cool.
The game utilizes some environmental, like, clues for the puzzles in interesting ways that I haven't seen before. The one thing I don't like that it does is it makes it so you have to stand, like, in a very particular spot and look at something at a very particular angle in order to solve the puzzle. It's a good idea, but I think that mechanic is overused because it's boring to watch the same thing over and over again, hoping you'll happen upon the right angle.
It is also a major component of puzzles in Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Is that true?
Yes.
Isn't
it's the part of the puzzle I really don't like. No, it's
Is it not
Senua's.
Setsuna? Don't answer me. I'm going to look it up now.
Yeah, I'd say that that's the one part that I didn't like, but it's probably because my feminine hygiene products get in the way.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, John's right. I'm an idiot.
Here's an experience I had once. I was at
Had a period.
Yeah, that's right. One time it started and it never stopped. So I was at a place where young game designers were demonstrating new games that they had made. And this was a place where I was known, and people knew or should have known that I know about video games. And in trying different demonstrations, more than once, some young guy, when I went to, like, play their game, instead of just observing me do it, which you think, like, okay, you're developing this, it's a great opportunity to watch someone interact with your product, would start giving me step-by-step instructions about how to beat the game. And that would happen until, like, an older man would come over and be like, just let her play it, man. What are you doing? It sucked. So get it together, boys. But it made me think that maybe the patience issue that women have is not with programming, but with listening to this particular guy talk about programming. Just something I inferred.
Speaking of talking to people on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh.
Vanessa, I heard you leveled up on Twitter this week. You got messages from Griffin Newsome, is that his name?
Griffin Newsome.
Griffin Newsome.
By all evidence, a very nice young man. I enjoy his podcast. I admit that I am not familiar with his other work. And yeah, he reached out and it was great.
Oh, tell us more.
Okay. You know how sometimes you mean to do one thing?
Yes.
And then, like, maybe you start doing something else, and then many different buttons get pushed, and you don't even know exactly how it happened. So, sometimes I try to use the retweet button. But also sometimes I'll take a screenshot of a tweet that I like to, like, show you guys or show other people.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And ideally those would be 2 separate activities. Like, I take a screenshot of the tweet to show to my good friends, and then I also retweet it. What I do not like to do is take a screenshot of the tweet and then retweet it back at the original tweeter.
You didn't even retweet it back. You replied to his tweet with a screenshot of his tweet. And he wrote back, "Why are you sending me a screenshot of my tweet?"
Yes, and I did not have an answer for that because I do not know why or how I sent him a screenshot of his tweet. But I'm sorry. I left it up because it's funny. It did get many good likes from people who enjoyed him making fun of it, because he definitely should. It was a very strange and silly thing to do. You had a great response about wondering if I was playing next level Twitter chess, so that's what I'm going with. Yes, it's my new thing. Is to take screenshots of people's tweets and then reply to them with the screenshot. Oh, poor, nice Griffin Newman? Matt's a fan. What's his name?
I really enjoyed Griffin Newman in The Tick, so
Yeah.
be nice.
I do try to be nice to him. I have replied to things that he has tweeted before and noticed that he always takes the time to go through and like people's replies. He seems very accessible, and I believe is available. So content creators, hit up Griffin Newman, give him a job.
Oh, I thought you meant like romantically.
Oh, I have no idea.
He has a girlfriend. I listened to him guest star on another podcast, and he mentioned his girlfriend.
Well, good for him.
So sounds like it's not going to work out for you, Vanessa.
Yeah,
I'm real sorry.
my subtle tactic of retweeting things at people who had tweeted them originally is not working as a pickup line. So I'll have to try something new.
I got the main valve open.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, John.
All right, I'll put that away
Okay,
now.
hey, gang, do you just want to come clean with your sins before we start the quest log?
Vanessa's in the middle of her level up.
Yep,
That's
I'm
a
in
good
the
point.
middle of my level up.
Are
Matt,
we in the middle?
how did you level up?
Thank you. Well, I have 3 things that I want to talk about tonight, and we have already leveled up for too long. So I will do everyone a favor, and I guess that's a weird way to put it. I will present the 3 things, and the 3 of you can tell me what you would like me to talk about. I saw a movie. It was called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No.
I also bought a game. It was called Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I did already talk about that. I also watched a movie. It was called Creed 2.
No.
Ooh. I want to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What about you, Jim?
I guess that.
No.
Oh, but Vanessa, do you want to talk about the cute boys in Fire Emblem?
How many close-ups of women's feet were there?
In Fire Emblem.
So many. So many to the point that at this point, I think that Quentin Tarantino is trolling the audience.
I think so too.
Did he insert? did he have a cameo for himself where he got to use the N-word?
Nope. The N-word was not used in that movie. In
wow.
fact, it was surprisingly clean on language.
Huh.
It's gonna be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, apparently.
Our favorite podcast called The Flophouse did a review recently of a movie about was it the ghost of what's her face who got killed by Sharon Tate, or The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
Yep, that was the name of the movie.
That was very exploitative. Vanessa, how do you say that word? I'm a man.
It's not exploitative. What are you talking
Is it
about?
exploitive?
Yeah.
Exploitative.
Exploitative.
Exploitative of Sharon Tate's death. How is this film?
Boy, I'm not Jonathan.
Spoiler alert.
I feel like I am not qualified to answer that question, and also spoiler alert.
What?
But-
How is that a spoiler alert? It's a historical thing that happened.
But
It's not, though.
the Tate family apparently did not have a problem with this movie and screened it ahead of time. I read in the Flophouse group.
This one? Not the Haunting of Sharon Tate.
This one. I did not
Okay.
see The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
I read that this movie gives Margot Robbie about 10% of the dialogue.
I think that she has 10 lines in the whole movie.
Cool.
It is not... I don't know. Go watch it for yourself.
How many times did you see her
No.
feet though? She has 10% of the dialogue and 100% of the foot close-ups.
I read that there's a scene where she watches a movie with her bare feet up on the seat in front of her.
That absolutely is true.
I have a shocking confession for you folks. Mm-hmm. For the most part, I love Quentin Tarantino movies.
Really?
Like, my favorite, Jackie Brown, Hateful Eight, love Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill is one of my favorite films of all time.
I love Kill Bill.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2.
I like a lot of Quentin Tarantino's movies, but I don't like Quentin Tarantino, and I don't like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction at all. I think those movies, they're not good. They're certainly good movies. I just don't like them.
Yeah, me neither. And they got killed for me at film school, where like the worst guys at film school were like, "No, you have to watch Reservoir Dogs." Like,
all right, so now I will say my piece on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I will not spoil the movie. There's not really anything to be spoiled. The movie doesn't seem to have a plot. I don't know. I walked out of that movie wondering, what was that movie about? And I can't answer that question. But it certainly is a fun fucking movie with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio being wonderful. And Margot Robbie, being, I don't know, man. She legitimately has like 10 fucking lines of dialogue in that movie.
She's super charismatic.
In a way, it makes sense. She is in the movie a ton. And in a way, it makes sense that she doesn't have a ton of dialogue or much of a part. And, yeah,
but as a filmmaker, especially like Quentin Tarantino, he can choose which stories he wants to tell.
I don't know. You need to see it for yourself if you want to make that judgment.
I don't need to.
No, that's the thing. You're not wrong at all, but you need to see the movie for yourself to make that judgment, because you don't, you can't, the role, it makes sense. Kinda.
I feel like it's okay to say, I don't want to see this, but I
can choose content that I want to consume or not.
You can watch a movie where 90% of the dialogue is spoken by women, like Sucker Punch.
Oh, no, John.
So anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I really liked it, even though I legitimately kind of am still questioning what the movie was even about, other than just being a fun movie to watch. But is that enough? Every minute of the movie was really enjoyable. And it is super clean compared to other Tarantino films. It is super linear. It is not as much like a Tarantino film, except it's so much Tarantino dialogue, and it's all really great. So, it's good. Go see it.
Matthew just gave a thumbs up into the camera.
I gave a thumbs up into the camera.
An enthusiastic
I
one.
also saw, and I don't mean to suggest that you have to see it, but certainly, it's a more complicated film than,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Than it seems. So see it. I did also see, I watched tonight Creed 2. I watched it right before we started recording. I am primed at the pump, if you will, for tears. I've already cried multiple times. Not really, but I've already gotten a little sniffly like once or twice today. So watch out. If we start talking about some heavy shit on this episode, we might get the waterworks. And, I guess that's it. That's how I leveled up.
Matt, there was an episode of Tuca and Birdie near the end of the one season that we'll be getting that actually made me tear up, and I don't tear up at anything.
I've talked about this, I think, before, and I've talked about it with people before. I'm like weirdly, little stuff will make me tear up, but
I'm the same way. I tear up at the weirdest movies. That movie where Ricky Gervais is a dentist that helps ghosts. I teared up at that movie.
What? I mean, they can hit me, television commercials can make me get a little teary-eyed at this point. And that's not always been the case in my life. Honestly, it's only been in the last, I don't know, since I had, kids. I think that it broke something in me.
Aw, you big old softy.
It's really unpleasant, actually. So anyway, That's how I leveled up.
Good job, everyone.
What comes next?
That was everyone.
That was everyone, Jim. What do we do after that?
We do a quest log now, where we talk about the actual game that we're playing. Sometimes when we get really into the level ups, I forget this is actually what we do.
Some people only listen to the level up.
As long as that one ran, we could split it into its own fucking show.
But we won't.
But I wanted to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm sorry that I monopolized the time.
We had fun bits. I hope Vanessa's okay.
I don't need to.
What?
I don't need to see it.
No. That was about the Jonathan Blow stuff.
Oh, I love that. I love
good.
your new
horrible
your new horrible Hulk persona, Jonathan Blow. Maybe Jonathan Blowhard for parody reasons.
Yes.
Well, that's what we call him. His name is Jonathan Blow, but everybody calls him Jonathan Blowhard.
Jonathan Blowhard.
It's the new character on the show. Jonathan Blowhard is now going to talk to us about how this garbage orphan scams his way into money by kidnapping a princess. Get it? Because everything he says is bullshit.
The quest log.
Quest log. The log that nobody needs.
The last time we escaped out of Momo's tower, pursued by a bear. Wait,
what?
no, horses.
Yes.
Pursued by horses.
Horsemen.
Those two buff unicorns.
Jim, what happens after we escape in a very poorly launched rocket?
Hey guys, remember Jim's excellent joke from last week? Uniporn? Let's talk about uniporn. So these uniporns chase you.
They aren't uniporn. Like, that would be the magazine. The uniporn is pornography about.
It would have been so good if we got chased by horse porn.
Listen, for teens in the 90s or whatever when this game came out, this is as close to horse porn as you could get, I'm sure.
That's true. I mean, it's a very furry kind of game.
Oh,
Thank you, Vanessa. That is true.
That is true.
I mean, Winged Bowser is definitely something.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were into him.
I mean, I'm not into him.
I see.
Even his wings are muscular.
Those gross hand wings, though.
They are. He has super, almost a second set of arms. But we'll get to that. Right now, we have crashed our rocket. And what happens next?
We go to the coffee shop.
Yes, finally, a rational decision. Go to the coffee shop, sit down, have a nice hot cup of coffee, collect yourself, and think about what the next steps are.
Well, we get approached by a scientist man who says that he knows Momo and that he knew Momo's father, and that Momo's father invented this technology that powers this plant where he works that uses chrism energy to grow crops.
Mm-hmm.
And
these are Chris crops.
Yes. And
just everybody's eating all that chrism.
Mm-hmm. You just squirt chrism all over.
Chrism is all in your
these
food.
Plants.
They get the food, they grow those vegetables, and they just fill them with chrism.
Anyway, so
direct to your door.
So, is the farm going well? Is he having a good time?
No, they say there's problems, and then so you have to go there next, and you learn that sometimes the chrism will cause the crops to mutate and become like monsters.
Mm-hmm. This is some real anti-GMO stuff.
It is. And so you have to go to this, is it like a dump or a cave?
A dump?
Yeah, but first, you have this maybe the most pointless level in this game so far.
I fucking hated this.
To go find because he's like, oh, come meet me on our farm. I'll show you around. You have to like take these conveyor belts to go meet the doctor by flipping switches, and it's the worst.
I assumed it would be some kind of complex puzzle later.
It isn't, though. It's not that hard. It's kind of annoying.
It's like prepping you maybe for the next part where you have to press the switches and you can get like the Artemis cap.
I guess.
Or the dump or whatever.
Dumpers.
But it's real pointless.
So yeah, you have to go talk to Dr. Pallet, and he's like, well, actually, when I say it's a machine, the problem isn't so much the machines per se. It's like, we've been dumping out the mutated plants, and there's something, you should probably go check it out, because I think one of them's a lie.
Yeah. Momo seems to either not remember this guy or be pretending not to remember him. She's not that into him.
It's a power move.
Yeah, that's true. And you really enjoyed this dialogue for Nina and Ryu's actions.
So did you notice this, Jim, when Momo is talking with Dr. Pallet? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there's like a mimed scene between Nina and Ryu.
No, I didn't notice that.
What happens, Vanessa?
They just start like having a side conversation and then seem to get into some kind of disagreement. Mm-hmm. And
they just keep sticking their tongues out at each other and getting madder.
Yeah. I don't know what they were arguing about, but whatever it was heated.
Mm-hmm. And because they're little kids and they're bored by all this grown-up talk. I really like that. That was a very cute detail.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye out because they do like extra animations and stuff during dialogue, and sometimes it's really cute. Jim.
Well, that's fun.
So we head to the dump. And because I mean, there's no reason to do this plot-wise, but we have to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she just wants to help out.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they call it the dump?
Because it's where they're dumping. You can go around and talk to people, and there is an incinerator at this farm, but they explain that the things that are too big to go into the incinerator go to the off-site dumping area, which is in a mountain.
Oh, I liked this dungeon, actually.
It was a little, like, there's some cute puzzles.
Yeah, it's just like
puzzles.
moving crates to like bridge gaps. So
I really liked that. Well, why didn't they dump all the vegetative stuff in a side cave when they could have just thrown it in the lava? Why did they just throw it in the lava? It's right there.
Maybe they didn't have dumping permits for the lava.
Why are we saying lava?
Canadians.
Oh, is that a Canadian pronunciation?
Yeah, how do you say it?
Lava.
Oh, okay. I
mean, no, I just didn't know that. I wasn't trying to sound intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you say it the right way, John?
Yeah, speak American.
Say, love it or leave it, bud. But you're not.
He did leave it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was
so,
here.
Eventually you get to this little side cave, and there is kind of a big, tall Seymour-y plant, like from Little Shop of Horrors.
Seymour Guado?
Yes, Seymour Guado.
Doom, doom. Feed me,
So Vanessa really liked this plant, is what you're saying?
Feed me all night long. You can do it. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long.
Get me big and strong.
'Cause if you feed me, Seymour,
What is happening?
I can grow up big
That's right.
and strong.
Please, anybody, what happened next?
So, this plant is like, hey, well, first you're looking at this plant and saying, wow, this plant is pretty huge.
If you want a rationale, if you really want to justify, stop and think it over, pal. A lot of folks deserve to die.
No, John,
Yeah.
just let her go. She wants
Okay.
to go.
And so, you're investigating the plant, but then it starts speaking. And it's like, why plant exist?
He's so nasty,
Yeah, he's
treating
like-
her rough, pushing her around,
Because
and
it
always
sort of
sucking
hears
so
you
tough.
talking about
You
how
need
you're
blood,
supposed
and
to
he's got more than
dispose
enough. You
of
need
this
blood, and
mutant
he's got
plant,
more than
and
enough. I
the
need
plant's
blood,
like,
and he's got
plant
more than enough.
mutant plant need to be
So
disposed.
go get it.
Yeah, he asked if you're there to kill him.
Yeah.
There's a
Or
real,
her.
like, Johnny Five Alive kind of moment, except it ends a little differently than the film Short Circuit.
I wish
he's
Short
nice,
Circuit
good
ended this way.
plant. What? We have a new friend in this plant, and so we just have a conversation.
Well, the plant tries to talk to you, but then it feels compelled to attack you.
Well, it feels very threatened because we are there to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And it gleans this information.
Yes. I guess it understands whatever language they're speaking.
It's a very smart plant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you the plant attacks you, and you get it to submit, and then it's like, please kill me.
Yeah.
You have to lower it into the lava like in Terminator 2.
Oh my god.
So
No, you don't. It's in a minecart, and you have to push the lever
on a
that makes the
conveyor,
minecart go,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just like plunges over the side.
And I
So
like how
I-
it talks to you after it gets submerged in the lava and then spits out a baby at you.
So you know it's really fucking suffering.
So it's, like your whole gang's like, well, we don't want to kill you. And it's like, you must kill me. I am a mutant plant. Why exist? But you can move there's two levers, one to move it backwards and one to move it forwards. And so I moved it backwards away from the lava.
Of course
and the
you
plant
did.
just got mad. It's like, why are you teasing plant with another minute of its cruel existence? Let plant die.
Yeah. And as soon as it does go over the edge, suddenly, like, Momo gets her shit together and is like, wait, you don't have to die. We can keep your secret.
I know, I thought the same thing. It's almost like when you're waiting for somebody that you don't like to like leave and you're like, oh no, you don't have to go. But
Yeah.
secretly you're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're like handing them their jacket.
But then it gives you a special present.
It
spits out.
farts out a little onion kid at you.
Yeah. A little onion that I was perfectly fine with
A sweet onion boy.
until I heard it speak. Pico! No!
Is that the voice?
That's my voice for Pico.
Yes, on John's stream of the game, he started doing the Pico voice, and it to me is what baby fresh eyes must be to like a regular person.
So poison in your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Baby Fresh Eyes is to every listener.
So a toxic waste dump.
Pico
Audibly. Oh, Jonathan, stop it.
John, you're just like doing the Uncle Joey Beaver voice from Full House.
What's up, Justin Benoit or whatever? What's that guy's name?
Dave
Michael
Coulier.
Sturcker? Dave Coulier.
That's one of our patrons, isn't it?
Alanis Morissette actually wrote the song You Ought to Know about Justin Benoit.
Yeah.
So we get a cute little buddy.
Oh, he sucks. And he's level 1.
And has no
he's
equipment.
a legit baby. He cannot do anything except die. And I accidentally put him in my party because I was like, a normal RPG, you get a new party member and they're good and strong. And you want to put them in your party right away. So I put this onion in my party, and I barely got out of that cave alive.
Honestly, this game, the party members they're usually leveled up more than fucking Pico's level 1 is ridiculous. They're usually leveled up comparable to you, but they're like legit always like 4 levels behind. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All the new ones that we're going to get this time, like Mr. Puff Puff,
So Pico,
the Janky Man.
I've been leveling up Pico. I've got Pico to level 12 now, I think, and he's got way more HP than anyone else.
Cool. Does he
Really?
still suck?
No, well, he's not great. He doesn't seem to be able to learn abilities very well, and
John's making good use of the strategies in this game that I am not. Jim and Vanessa, are you making use of this stuff? I was watching him stream as well. John, I like that you stream. It's great that we can watch you play and judge you. John has double blow for his main character.
How?
So he does 2 hits every turn for 0 AP.
How?
It's ridiculous. That's amazing.
We haven't talked. No, it's for 2 AP. We haven't talked about this because we didn't know about it. You know that little eyeball icon?
Oh,
yes.
Right.
If someone uses a move against you while you've used the eyeball icon on them, you learn that ability if you can learn
You've got a 1 in 100 chance to learn that ability because I've been using it so much and I learn nothing.
It looks like there's some provisos and things like only one person can learn an ability, but then you can use Skill Link to transfer it to other people. So like once one character in your party has learned that ability, no one else can.
How can you use Skill Ink?
You use it when you camp.
Yeah, when you camp, you can like transfer abilities to like your ability pool and then move it to other people's abilities.
When you camp, there is a book inside the tent that you have to walk up to and use, and then it gives you a bunch of options like change your party or use Skill Ink.
And there's some good ones like blind. You can learn from like those annoying little dinosaurs with the spearheads. And there's the orcs in Momo's temple also have this thing Last Resort that gives buffs to your characters, so that's a good one too. You can learn different spells and stuff, I think. I don't know. I've just been like, I went back when I was grinding up Pico to be a bit more usable, and I got a few abilities that way. But I've also been finding all these masters. There's a master, I forget her name is like Tony Danza or something. She's right by the coffee shop.
Alonzo is at the coffee shop, which is I think what we were talking about last.
Yeah.
We were talking about what we did in this chunker.
She's got, you have to have 15 different weapons in your inventory, not
15
equipped.
unique weapons.
And they can't be equipped. They don't count if they're equipped. And then you can get her.
And you can't unequip weapons. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did notice that.
You cannot unequip weapons in this game. You can only equip new weapons to your weapon slot.
Oh.
So it takes a while to get 15 unique weapons into your inventory. So I still haven't done it. I got like 13 now. I think all
I did. I got her, and she apparently is very suited for Momo. She does. She's got like high accuracy. She helps with whatever your
Momo
stat
needs
is. That improves accuracy. Yes, and Momo needs that.
Yeah. So definitely recommend doing that. And stealing abilities from people. So we get back to Dr. Pallet. And we say,
I was going to ask. So, Jim, John, and Vanessa, are you making use of the camp ability?
How do you mean?
Like, am I camping?
Yeah, are you camping?
Yeah.
You can rest in camp. I feel like it makes the game like super. It makes grinding really easy because you can just refresh your stats whenever you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it does. If you've died, it doesn't get rid of that death penalty.
Yeah.
You have to like go back to an inn.
Like you gotta go rest at an inn.
Yeah. Yeah, there are others. You can assign skills at camp. You can change your party. You can talk to people. I guess they sort of tell you where to go next, which is I always like that in RPGs.
Yeah, you can give them gifts. You can romance them. You can spend some time in your tent.
Ooh, are we talking about Fire Emblem? Well, so yes, I did. I gave out some gifts to raise morale because that allows me to lecture more, and that allows me to raise their stats. And also raise their
stats,
communication abilities,
their
relationships to each other, because you have to, you got to nurture the relationships.
That's true,
because it's persona.
That's how we became friends. We gave each other gifts and lectured each other.
So we get back to Dr. Pallet, and Dr. Pallet's like, Oh, yeah, that was great. Thanks for totally killing that plan. Hey, I can help you get back to that checkpoint if you want to go to, like, Windia. All you have to do is, get in this cart. It's a great plan. No one will ever see through it. You'll hide in this cart, and we'll take you through the checkpoint.
Yeah, it's a hay
I will
cart.
not get you killed.
And they're like, is this a good plan?
This is Momo's dead dad's friend who's been helping you out, being your buddy, because he knew your dead dad.
Before he outed himself as like, because he's like a bad guy, you find out right here. But because he has a creepy laugh, like he says, "Let me know if you need anything." And I was like, "Oh, he wants to have sex with Momo."
Oh,
Momo is an adult. Momo can consent.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think Momo is Ray's age. I think they're teens.
Yeah, I think Momo's
With a
like
Z.
15.
Well, Momo is clearly a sexual creature.
Wow.
Okay.
Momo has a library full of pornography.
That's her dad's.
Momo does not have a library full of pornography. Any more than my children have a library full of pornography.
Oh, no.
By library, I hope you mean hard drive.
No.
Oh, no.
That's old school.
Well, good news. I've got some woods out behind my house, and I'm going to go bury it there, so
Why was that
don't
a
worry.
thing?
Future generations will have plenty of pornography to find in the woods.
Like,
you know how you
Vanessa,
find porn
did
in the
you
woods?
did you ever find wood pornography? Because we did.
No, but I've heard of this. Of like how boys used to get pornography is just to wander around the woods until they found some. I don't understand.
A weird, creepy RPG.
It's like something that
true,
straight
though.
men do for each other.
Yes.
like the-
Jim, I want to know if Jim experienced this. Jim, did you have pornography in the woods?
No.
No, he has no idea. See, here's the thing, John. For a certain age group, it's like a shared experience.
Yeah.
But for people outside of these, like, 4 fucking years, it's like we're talking about Aladdin. It's like magic.
No,
it's
I
genius.
think
it's
we
ridiculous.
were the last generation of woods porn, because I think it had been going on for like 50 years before us.
I think the internet killed the woods porn tradition.
Yeah.
I also think that there's a lot less people that have the woods behind their house these days.
It's
That's also true.
one, because like they don't need it now that there's internet. But when the nuclear like apocalypse happens and everybody's foraging in the woods, all they're going to find
Here's the
is
thing,
porn.
guys. We're not talking about adults hiding pornography in the woods. We're talking about legitimately like little children that have hidden hustlers.
Oh, I thought it was adults.
Under-
I thought it was
What?
like, see, what I had assumed when I was a kid, I thought it was like grown-ups who wanted to get rid of their pornography but couldn't throw it out because someone might look through their trash, so they like
No.
dump it in the forest.
No.
There's like
It was just
stacks
a fucking
of, like, it was a stack.
Playboy that some kid stole from his dad that then got passed around to every kid in the neighborhood, and it was in the fucking, it was hidden under the fucking, in the tree stump in the fucking forest.
I
or
thought
whatever.
it was just like a solid
tree
that dudes
stump.
were doing for other dudes.
That's what yeah.
No.
See, that's what I'm thinking now is that people
No.
are creepy and leaving porn out
See-
where kids hang out.
No,
No,
because like
it's
if
not at all.
there were a lot of people in the 80s and 90s who just went out to jerk off in the woods, man. And that's where they left their porn.
Well, it's like how girls will write One Direction fan fiction for each other. Boys will find a Playboy and leave it in the woods for each other.
I mean, it makes perfect sense though, doesn't it? Like little kids, like something like that. Like, oh, it's in the hollowed out rock.
When I was a kid, I had a friend whose dad had some Playboys, and she showed them to me, and I did not like them because I find that kind of extreme body modification that was popular at the time very upsetting. They look so uncomfortable and hard. I hate it.
Yeah. Back in the 70s, the body modification in the Playboy that she found was
With like
Terrifying.
all those cyborgs in the pornos. With like,
What?
no, I'm just kidding. You said body modification, it made me think of robot people.
Yeah,
Oh.
all those cyborgs.
I was thinking like piercings.
No.
I thought you guys are talking about fake breasts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So back to the game.
So Breath of Fire 3.
It's
The
an
tits
RPG.
on this onion. No,
So then you hide. So the doctor gets you to. He chuckles evilly as he hides you in this cart, and then as the cart goes away, he says, "Finally, the children are gone, and no one will have evidence of the bad things I've been doing." I guess because he wants to cover up the GMO side products of the weird talking creatures in the cave.
Yeah. He's like, those good unicorns will kill these children for me.
So do you think he got
And I'll
Momo's
look it
dad
up later
killed?
on Uniporn Hub.
Is that like a subtext that he killed Momo's dad?
It's possible, but I don't know
No, I
if it's a
didn't get that.
subtext.
Okay.
I didn't
we
get it. This
talk
guy's
about
just
this
like
onion, though?
this guy's like doing some shady shit, and he saw that they saw his mutant creation Frankenstein, and they're like Frankenstein's monster, and he's like, I need to kill these kids.
This is Pallet, right? It's Pallet that sells you out here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So then, what about Onion Boy, Vanessa?
So this onion does have some body modification issues. In some of its attack animations, it turns from a cute little onion baby into like a burly onion man. Have you noticed that?
I mean,
Yes.
Are you asking me if I noticed a burly man?
Yes.
Yes, Vanessa.
Have
I
you
noticed
noticed
the burly man.
that this baby, especially in its reprisal animation, goes from a little baby with no arms to a squat, burly man onion with totally ripped arms. I assume they just didn't animate two different things. So, if this onion, we presume will grow up at some point, I'm guessing that that's what onion will look like all the time, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
you're
that's a
wrong.
good guess.
That's just what he does. He's a little cute thing, and he blows up
Yeah. Okay.
and becomes a big fighter.
Did anyone transform into Onion Boy and then go to talk to the Idrisil?
No, that's a good idea, though. What happens?
Yeah, it's a master.
It's another master.
Sign up.
You get more abilities from the master. So I went and got, who did I get onto that? Oh, I got Nina onto Idrisil.
Who is Idrisil, and how do I find him?
Idrisil is right next to the farm, to Momo, or Dr. Plant's farm.
Mm-hmm.
Not Plant, Dr. Pallet's farm. And,
Plant is what it's called on the map.
right. That's why I keep calling him Dr. Plant. Anyway, there's a tree
His name is Pallet.
southeast of there, and that's where Idrisil is. You have to be Onion Boy to talk to Idrisil.
Oh. Well, I'll have to head on back there then, I guess.
We're on episode 3 of this podcast, and we're still figuring out the mechanics. Number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, I
Number
did
2.
finally figure it out, but I still managed to fuck it up really bad. I'm not good at this at all.
So, with each master, if you want to get more concentrating on strengthy stuff, you go for a strengthy based master. I finally got Master Bunyan, and I have been a very devoted pupil of his,
I'm sure you have.
learning every one of his tricks.
I wonder if it helped me that I did not get Bunyan for a long time, and I finally do have him now. But I have a lot of AP, so I can stay as a dragon for a long ass time. And I wonder if you sign up for with Bunyan first thing, if that's the case.
Oh, yeah, because I had Wizard Man for so long, I do get more AP. So you might want
It
to
helps for those boss fights.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
Going full dragon and just blowing them up the whole time is great.
Yeah. So, so he puts us into that cart, and we're going on our way back to Windia. At the checkpoint, you get stopped by, bandits?
No, it's the unicorn, and he just takes the cart.
Oh, he just takes it.
Yeah, he
Oh.
scares off
Balio and
the
Sunder.
hooded man.
Oh,
Is that
that's
his
right.
name? Balio?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Sunder's the brother?
Sunder's
Yeah.
the brother.
Okay.
Balio and Sunder stop you because Pallet sold you out like a fucking jerk.
So, they you are now abducted. Cut to immediately. You're all imprisoned at the arena, tied up. Balio's like, well, now you're my prisoners again. I'll have to, I don't know, kill you or something? I don't know. But then Nina talks her way into having you folks enter the tournament. And
they're really holding a grudge, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, if you kidnap the princess, then I assume that you want to ransom the princess.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they're just like, I guess we'll just murder you because we hate you so much.
They hate
well,
them.
they're also paid to, right? Like they keep mentioning some big master they have.
Mm-hmm. You guys, I think it might be Loki. I don't know.
You think?
Yeah, that's my theory.
But why?
Theory.
What would be the plan for that then?
I don't know, but Loki seemed sinister to me. I think that there's more going on there that meets the eye.
Well, but Loki seemed afraid of whoever was hired by McNeil.
Yeah, because he's the god of mischief.
Okay. All right.
Unless he's just a guy named Loki.
But do you follow the logic of how Nina was able to convince Balio to let them go so they could enter the tournament? Because the only thing that works in Balio's favor is that he can not bet on them winning because he knows they're really powerful.
Yeah.
People don't expect the little kid to be a dragon boy.
Yeah, he's going to tilt the odds somehow and use them to make some money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that. He just, I think, thinks that they'll win the first round. And
he's
like, we'll make money off of that. I don't know why that worked, but, And
he seems pretty excited when so the first round is against, what was the name of this team?
Patrio's team.
Yeah, Patrio's gang. And you're going to be fighting in the fire arena.
Mm-hmm.
The Hall of Fire, which is, interesting.
It is very interesting. It's a hall full of the floor is lava.
Yay! I love that game.
Yeah, but for real. But it's okay because you stand on these platforms, and the platforms are held up by some very nice gentlemen.
By some poor, poor men who have to die to do their job.
No, well, I guess they do. Yeah. Well, they get injured at least. Because they're lava resistant, but they are not sword resistant.
That's true.
And they do have flame proof. Okay, so picture 4 identical muscle men in bright blue thongs. Mm-hmm. That is all they're wearing. They look oiled up. But they are not there to fight you or interact with you. They're there to hold up the platforms you stand on.
They are the Dodai?
Yeah, This is very like Cho Aniki. If you ever played one of those games.
I don't know what that is.
Like super gay, muscle, homoerotic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's very silly, and I love it.
Wait, what is Cho Aniki? That's got an American name, doesn't it?
No, it's been released here as Cho Aniki.
Is it a magazine?
No, it's like a side-scrolling shooter mostly. There's also fighting games where you play as big muscle, like queer-coded muscle men fighting each other.
I believe Dodai means foundation in Japanese.
What does it mean?
Foundation, I think.
Oh, interesting. So this fight is against Patrio, who is like Patrio's the one with the Patrio's the dude, like he looks like a bearded white knight guy, and then there's like a lady with 2 swords or 2 knives that's pretty cool, and then there's like a portly wizard guy.
So this is a weird contest thing where the battle is your standard turn-based whatever battle, but it is 1-on-1. So, and you pick the order. So obviously we all started as Ryu, and then picked whoever we picked second or third.
It goes in your battle formation. Yeah. So you don't pick an order, it just defaults to what your battle formation is.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. You don't pick
so
it.
It's that's basically what I said.
Wow.
So it's 1-on-1, and I don't know.
Who did you guys decide to leave in the cage?
Pico,
for sure.
Yeah, it had to be Pico.
It would be crazy to not be Pico.
Yeah.
Unless you sat there and fucking grinded for, like, legit 10 hours.
It would be several hours to get. Yeah, for sure. Like 4 or 5, I think. I grinded with him for an hour just to get money to get a weapon. And, maybe not worth it. So yeah, these fights
sucks.
were pretty fun. Like I never killed the Dodai. They were too strong.
I didn't bother with them at all. I just killed the people in front of me and was fine.
With the second guy, the tubby mage guy, he was like healing my Dodai, not his Dodai. I don't know if it was a scripting error or something.
Yeah, I had that too. It seemed really broken.
So with him,
Maybe he was he casting fire on them or was he healing them?
He was doing both. He was casting like a wind spell on them and then
Protect
healing
and
them.
stuff.
Yeah, it was very silly. So
Weird.
I couldn't kill him because he kept casting protect on himself, but eventually he ran out of MP and then I was able to kill him. That took like half an hour.
Mm-hmm. I had focused on the Dodai in the first round before I realized that was a waste of time. So Dodai was already half dead. And then I just brought Nina in and she iced the Dodai the rest of the way dead. And the platform collapsed.
This
that's
seems
cool.
like a whole lot of setup for this. Do you think this comes back later? Do you think this will be like a end game thing as well? Or is this just a lot of story and setup for something that lasts, a couple of minutes in the game?
I think the final boss will be held up by Dodai.
Is that what you're asking about? Are you talking about the contest? Are you talking about just the platform thing?
Like the whole arena stuff. It seems very complex and they put a lot of time into explaining how it works, but then it's like nothing in the game.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it's going to be nothing. I bet we don't see it again after this.
This isn't like those two. It's not quite a level of weird detail about something that doesn't matter, like Rogue Galaxy with those security guards, but this is like one step below that.
Honestly, the difference between this game and Rogue Galaxy is that this game was PlayStation 1 and still had to conserve a lot of space, and Rogue Galaxy did not. So whereas in this game you get 3 words about something because that's all they can fit in the box, in Rogue Galaxy you got 30 minutes of cutscene.
But in Rogue Galaxy you could skip cutscenes. Or like go fast through them. In this game it's like watching that text appear.
It's so slow.
This game is very, very slow.
Hey, let's talk about a universally shared annoyance. You can't like skip through the text either in this game, right?
No. Yeah.
Like you hit the button and it doesn't go faster. It's, oh my God.
Once the text is up, you can you don't have to leave it on for very long, but yeah, you can't just like jam buttons through text windows like I like to. Especially if I had to do something over again, like I did a couple of times for various reasons. So you win that fight and then the next fight shows up. Jim, this is pretty great because
Which fight are we talking about?
Emitai.
Yeah, this guy tries to totally sucker you. And saying that his kid is sick and if he doesn't win, I think it's his daughter who needs an operation will die.
And they're really in on it because you walk past them on the way to your room and they're like, Mommy, am I going to get better? and the mom's like, well, if your father wins, we can get you that medicine.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a wizard, and this is in the null magic arena, so he's at a distinct disadvantage.
It's really sad.
Mm-hmm. But he's like, well, the only thing I can do is summon these 2 little golems to fight for me. But he thinks that he can definitely beat Gar if he does beat you. It's just right now he's got bad luck of having to fight in the null magic arena. Although if he'd thought about it, everyone seems to have to fight in this null magic arena. So it's like, when you go into Drag Race and you don't know how to sew, even though there's always like 3 sewing challenges in the show.
Yes, exactly like that.
Like you gotta know that you have to have some physical.
You gotta know.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So he should have thought about that ahead of time. So you fight against Emitai. This one's a 3-on-3 battle. So it's you and Emitai's two little golems, but he casts a little bit of sprinkles some fairy magic dust on them and makes them into big golems.
And turn into big boys.
He shoots them up with fucking HGH.
Mm-hmm.
And he just hides in the back because he can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. And
But if you take him out first, then his golems just kill each other.
oh, really?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
just...
they do start attacking each other.
Yeah.
I should have done that. That sounds like a way easier strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I killed them one by one, and they killed, it was just down to Ryu, because they killed Nina and Momo.
Oh, you really fucked up. There's a way easier way to do it.
Ah, man. What about you, Vanessa?
I also killed them one by one, but they did not kill me. I am very tough and strong.
Well, that's good. Yeah, so I barely made it through, and then finally you have to fight the champion this is the Clash of Kings, or whatever it's called. Clash of Clans? The
That's
final
not what
battle?
it's called.
The Contest of
Clash.
Champions?
Contest of Champions. I like how they call Gar Mr. Dynamite,
Mm-hmm.
which is
They call him a
weird.
lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah, they do call him a lot. The winged dynamo, the winged something as well. Yeah, so you meet Gar, and he's got two huge muscle arms, and then two pretty big arms that are part of his wings.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like, imagine if Bowser had wings. And
Well, he's got like realistic-ish bat wings, right? Like
Yeah.
bat wings are like big, they're like fingers. They're not
yeah, but normally you wouldn't have
like
that much,
bird wings.
huge muscles in your wings, because you want to be as
Well,
light,
yeah, of
light as
course.
possible.
I mean, this is some anime bullshit for sure. He's got horns. He's a dragon man. So he's got big bat wings and like a regular body, and he's got big horns on his head.
And he's got lovingly rendered muscle chest cleavage for those who are into that kind of thing.
What do you think he smells like, John?
Like a musky barn.
Like leathery kind of?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So I lost this fight. I was trying something, and then Vanessa's like, "Oh, you should be examining him to learn his ability." So I reset the game and tried that. And I was actually doing better before I took Vanessa's advice, which is a whole.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd take me that seriously. I was very surprised.
I thought you were giving me a pro tip that I needed to learn some cool ability from him.
It was just a thought.
It didn't work.
I did learn some abilities from people in the arena. I
Oh,
don't
but
remember what they
Probably
were.
blind, because one of the hard parts of Patrio's fight is the lady, the first one you fight, she blinds you, and that can make the fight really tough.
Oh.
Bye, guys. Bye, listeners. I have to go do a boring work thing. So I'll see you next week.
Bye.
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 Jim's returned to his home planet. I guess it's just us, Vanessa. Gar, I think it might be possible to win against Gar, but I actually don't know.
I was doing very well against him, and then he said, "Let's finish this," and he hit me with 2 attacks that did 200 points of damage each.
Oh. Well, there's no way to win against that, is there?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that. So then Gar wins the Contest of Champions and is going to take his prize. He's talking to Balio and Studebaker. What was his? Sunder. And he's like, well, for my prize, I want the lives of Ryu and his buddies. I want to take them out
Well,
of your
he doesn't
control
exactly
and
put it that
free
way.
them.
He says the winner can have whatever he wants, right? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, well, I want these children. And they do object initially.
He does say that.
But he insists that he will have the children or he will kill Balio and Sunder. And so the children are delivered unto him.
Papa!
Oh. So, yeah, they're pretty scared of him. So he just says, well, you guys, you're free to go. You don't owe me anything. Just leave. It's fine. And so we head on our way back to Windia, but then the Horsey Bros totally go back on their deal and surround us with their goons.
Gar does tell us first that the reason he freed us is because he believes that Ryu is a brood and should go to Angel Tower to learn more about his ancient race.
And Ryu's like, well, but I want to find my friends. Well, no, Ryu doesn't say anything. Nina says Ryu's trying to find his friends Tipo and Ray, and he's like, well, you probably won't find them alive because there's a criminal syndicate hired to kill you that Balio and Sunder are part of, and they're pretty good at their jobs, so your friends are most likely dead. And then Ryu bursts into tears.
Yeah, he cries a lot. Oh, poor baby.
So you two get surrounded by Balio and Sunder's buddies almost immediately, and they call us dumb. And they're gonna just end this once and for all. And they attack you. First, they attack you with their little goons who you mop up, but then they come to attack you. But their backup is killed immediately by Gar, who swoops in like Han Solo to save the day.
Yeah, hooray for Gar. This was amazing. May I describe what happens next, John? Please, please. So Balio and Sunder are seemingly out of options, but they have one last trick up their hoof, and their trick is to face each other, crotch to crotch, and then a glowing light appears from their crotches, and they join their two bodies into one super stud stallion form.
This is real uniporn.
Yeah. And then they say, no one has ever seen us in this form and lived to talk about it.
And this like giant Ultraman looking robot unicorn is there, and it fights you. And I like just transformed into a dragon and just kept destroying it. Like, I mean, I still did. I think I did more damage than even Gar was doing as a dragon.
Yeah, the mixing of so we talked about this last time a bit. You get these dragon genes, and you can mix them to get like a bigger form. And I think last time we said if you mix them all, like you can turn into a big dragon, but it eats all your magic up. But you don't actually have to mix them all. You can just mix like 2, and it'll make you a big dragon, and then you can destroy everything. I do it to every boss. It's great. It like triples your health. I think my dragon form at this point has like 400 health.
Jeez.
And I've got like 120 or 30 AP, and I can just stay like that for a long time.
Yeah, I wonder if I should, after I master Banon. Apparently Banon's ultimate ability that you learn from him, not Banyan. Bunyan, yeah. Banon's your brother. Apparently Bunyan's ultimate ability is really, really good. So after I get that, maybe I'll go back to the one that just boosts your AP, because you might as well.
I do, he does have, that Disembowel, I think is his last one, but you have to gain 10 levels to get it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm already a couple levels in.
His first one is, and I'm sure you have it, Risky Blow is pretty good though. It's like, it's a, John, he's like giggling like a geisha with his hand over his mouth. What's happening?
Risky Blow.
Risky Blow like doubles your chance for a critical and is, I mean, can't go wrong with critical.
I haven't got that yet because I just went and got his first thing, or switched to him after this part of it. Right. Basically right as soon as you can get to Windy, I went to go get him. So, you destroy the Stallion Brothers and they're wiped out forever. But it sure sounds like there's other upper level gangsters who are still going to be mad at you.
That's the word on the street.
That is the word on the street. So Gar suggests we go to Windia to get passports so that we could go east to Angel Tower.
Also to return Nina home.
She is a little princess. What's wrong?
There's just so much shit here, and it's so annoying.
Well, we'll try to we could speed this up a little.
Windia Castle is the worst.
Yeah, this section's not super great. You get dinner with the king. Real happy to see you. It looks like you're out eating some ham. Looks like
just hours and hours of slow fucking scrolling.
I really liked the dinner animations, though. You have Gar, who is just like chowing down. Ryu seems to have a fork in his hand, and he's just banging it on the table over and over again.
He's a little kid.
Yeah.
And
the
was
onion
adorable.
is asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Momo seems to be
Momo.
behaving herself, and Nina, of course, has proper table manners.
Mm-hmm. So you're after your nice dinner, they basically are on their way. They don't even really say goodbye to Nina. They just leave and cut to Nina alone in her room. She's like, "Oh man, I wish I'd gone with my friends."
Yeah. Well, what are they supposed to do? I mean,
she is a princess. They can't just keep carting her around. So they got the passports from King Man. Nina's alone in her room, and she hears a scream and a crash. What could it be, Vanessa?
It is Honey.
Honey, the little robot
Honey.
that Momo has? The cute little one that's always cleaning up? I love
Yeah.
Honey.
You go downstairs and find a housekeeper who has dropped a plate because she was startled by Honey, and thus begins the quest for Honey in Windia Castle.
Before you really start, you have to like get a guilt trip from your mom, who's real upset that you ran away. It makes sense. Like everyone would be mad if their young child left with a group of weird vagabonds.
yep. If the princess of the nation vanished with a bunch of garbage orphans, it makes sense that people would be upset about that.
The mom is on bed rest after after collapsing after the kidnapping.
Oh, that's right. She's fallen ill. She's so worried about you.
Yeah.
So anyway, Honey shows up and you chase her around the castle and then you fall off the balcony to your death. But Honey saves you, maybe, or maybe you save yourself with your own magic.
Well, people talk about how Windians used to be able to fly, and there's also a big cat chef that you meet, which is one of the best parts of this game so far.
Oh,
He was
tell me
great.
more. Tell us all about the cat chef. So I'll just reiterate this. Honey, then now you have to chase Honey around the castle, and it's obnoxious, and it takes for fucking ever.
But there is a cat
But
chef, and it's
Talking
adorable.
about a cat chef, so let's hear about that.
There's just a big cat chef. He's apparently the best chef in the country, and he's just adorable. He's like a big anime Garfield, I would call him.
Yeah, but he also boasts about how he will kill any rat that he sees in the castle.
And feed it
but
to you.
his kitchen is full of rats.
It really is. He's not very good at his job. Well, I
That's
guess his
true.
job isn't pest control, it's cooking.
That's
He's
a
a
good point
cat.
as well.
His job is to kill rats. That is
yeah.
cat job.
I
This is
also,
also a medieval castle, and he is the chef there. So I don't know that they have pest control. Maybe that is just his job. Part of his job is to keep the rats out of the kitchen, probably.
there's, did you all talk to the one mouse who's like hiding and then says squeak and then gives you cheese?
Yes.
I don't know what that's all about, but I assume that's going to come into something later.
Probably not.
Did you before? Yeah. So you finally you chase Honey up to the balcony after following people telling you where Honey went, and Honey's about to fall off this big bridge. You try to grab her, but you end up floating, which may be Honey magic, or it may be your own internal magic, or maybe a combination of the two.
Who knows?
But Honey's power is completely depleted, and Honey stops working when Nina falls, and she decides to go take it to Momo to try to get the robot fixed.
That's convenient. So, in other words, the princess runs away.
Yes, because the princess was not allowed out of the castle, but found a loophole that no one is guarding a bridge that's 100 feet up. And you go back to camp, and Momo's like, well, let's, it looks like it needs to be reloaded with the chrism. So let's take it to my tent.
Yep, and they go to Phil Honey with Grissom in private. Ryu wants to go too, but Gar advises him to let them handle it.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, well, so when we go to Angel Tower, you're probably not going to live much longer than that.
Yeah, which is a weird thing to say to a child.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to say to a child.
And Nina's like, what? Say what? And comes out and he's like, well, look, the dragons were real bad and could destroy the whole planet. So, that's bad. And she's like, well, he's not a bad dragon. He's not a bad dragon. He's not one of Bad Dragon's quality dildos or other sex toys. He's a good dragon.
Have we talked about... Well, never mind. We'll wait until he turns into an adult.
Yes, please.
Excellent reference, John. So good.
BadDragon.com. Don't go there at work.
Bad Dragon, please sponsor our podcast. We've been asking for months.
I think a couple of years now.
And did I tell you about my friend that works in my office who has a painting of a Bad Dragon dildo on his wall?
What?
Painting of one? On purpose?
No.
Oh.
His wife did all these, like, I don't know what it is. It's not like spin art, or it's like, but it's some sort of like drop art. I don't know what it is. And for some reason, he's got 4 of them in his office and they all have dicks in them. Like, it's just the way it works, I guess, this particular like type of, use of the paint. And one of them does legitimately look like a Bad Dragon dildo. And I'm always, every time, and it's green, and every time I'm in there, it's eye level, and I'm always staring at it. And every time I'm in there, I'm like, look at this dildo on your wall.
She's like,
look at this giant dragon dildo.
An anatomy flipped Gloria not Gloria Steinem. Who's the one who always paints the vaginas?
The flower
Virginia
lady.
Woolf.
No,
Gertrude Stein?
Virginia.
No, it's not Gertrude Stein. What's her name? She paints the flowers.
Yeah.
They're very big.
We all know it.
Yeah, we all know it. Anyway.
We all know. We're just teasing you.
So,
Virginia Woolf.
Nina's gonna keep
The desert flower
Nina
vagina paintings.
decides she's going to join the group because she's the only way of keeping Ryu happy, I guess. Because Ryu will only use his form when she's in danger, and I guess she thinks the best way to keep herself out of danger is with them? Is that her logic? She is a child.
No, she says that she's going to learn to fight and be tough herself.
I think that's more Gar's logic. He's like, well, I guess I'll let you come because Ryu really only uses his power to save you, or when he dies.
Mm-hmm. So, we're gonna head past that checkpoint. There's a cute little cutscene of going past the checkpoint where the guards are like, so who's this? And to Gar, cause Gar's the one in the charge. And he's like, well, here's my papers. My papers are good. And that's, my daughter. And she's a little girl, a little white blonde girl. He is a big Bowser with wings. And they're like, well, she must take after her mother. Her gorgeous, like her mother probably is. Could be adopted, guys. God. They also seem to recognize that it's Princess
awkward.
Nina. But they don't want to mess with Gar, so they let her through. It was a fun little cutscene. And Matt, I think you're right. If this game had the storage space of Rogue Galaxy, this would have been like a 15-minute cutscene.
We crossed the bridge, and we're now on the western side, the eastern side of the continent? We're on the eastern side of the continent.
There's Rapala, which is a port town. You're like, oh, we'll take a boat there. But you can't.
Yeah, you can go. So you come out across the bridge onto the map. There's some new fishing spots, which is nice. I hope everyone fished. And there's a mountain, a volcano, and you can go there and they tell you to fuck off. They're like, well, the road's closed because of the volcano. So you go to Rapala, the port town, and go to hell, basically. Because this whole section
is
the worst part of the game.
terrible. So what happens in I guess we should also say who's checked out by this point, because this is a fairly long chunker. I know Jim got to right around here. He got to Rapala. Vanessa.
I also got to Rapala.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true.
It
Vanessa,
is
you've
true.
been
We've been
playing
recording
while
for a
we've
long
been recording.
Oh, have you been playing this, trying to catch up?
Yeah. Have you not noticed that she has not talked? Yeah.
So in Rapala, you can't get
Who
a boat.
else checked out in Rapala, John? Was it just Jim and Vanessa?
Well, no, I made past this part. There's a boat that takes you across the sea. Unfortunately, it hasn't come back yet, and there is the, Shipmaster Cargo People Guild. I forget what the guild is called, but there's a transport guild that runs the shipping in this town, and at this point, the game makes you talk to 8 different people to get the plot moving anywhere. Talk to the guild master. You have to go wander all through town. You have to discover the second floor of the basement of the fucking inn. Mm-hmm. I spent so long here just walking around. And there's a bearded daddy bear there who's yeah, actually, I don't do anything. It's my daughter that does it. So you go to the pier and talk to his daughter. His daughter's we've got a great situation with the daughter. Great. The daughter is being courted by a man. Zig. His name is Zangief. Oh, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Zig. He is a giant man. He's Zangief. He's got a monkey for a best friend who eggs him on, like a monkey man. Yep. And we also are introduced to Bade. Bade? Mm-hmm. Anybody? I said Bade. Bade, who is I guess a little weak coward man. He's got some brains, but is too scared to do anything.
He's a bookkeeper, and I think he's adorable.
And is... Meanwhile, Zig is just is the... Oh, boy. Guildmaster's daughter's childhood best friend. Because of course he is. Here he is, gentlemen. All you fucking nerds that write hate mail to ladies. The fucking bookish best friend that should get the girl. Right? I guess. Well, right? I mean, you do see that Zig, Shadis hates Zig. And the idea that because he's strongest and could clear out this lighthouse full of monsters, which the lighthouse is full of monsters. Well, I got news for you, Johnny. Shadis has got more options than these two fucking losers. I know. Although, I mean, I personally, if I was dating Zig, I would be pretty happy with riding the Z train.
There were some beefy, bowl boys around, too. Did you see those?
I only saw them from behind. I never saw them from the front.
Well, that sounds like it wouldn't be a problem for you.
Wow. No. I like to get to know my anthropomorphic muscle men. And he cannot lie. No other brothers can deny. This gets terrible. So, you're oh, is this the start of the annoying minigame? No. It isn't the start of the annoying minigame, Vanessa or Matt. You have to leave, at which point Shadis is hey, can you help me with this situation? Because I don't know what to do. You can't take a boat. Why don't you just she doesn't even ask you to help. She's just well, I guess you can just hang out until the boat gets back because there's nothing else for you to do. And you go back to camp, and then Nina's screw this. I don't want to hang out. I want to be like that 180s movie with the nerdy guy and they want the nerdy guy to get some kind of cool girlfriend. So they help the nerdy guy get the cool girlfriend that he wants. Except this sounds like a John Waters movie. No, I think it's a the other John Hughes movie. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I got my Johns mixed up. If they had sex with a chicken, then it would be a John Waters movie or ate dog poop. Pardon? Oh, well, you have to see Pink Flamingos, I guess. Or like murder someone for cha-cha heels. Was that a part of that one? His movies are pretty strange. But John Hughes is all about the nerdy guy getting the girl and pretending to be a cool guy when the actual nice girl gives him a makeover so that he can like hook up with the hot girl. But like the actual nice girl is maybe the one he should be with instead. Do you know the movie I'm talking about?
I do know what movie you're talking about.
What movie is that?
Can't Hardly Wait.
Can't Hardly Wait? No, that's not it. Isn't Can't Hardly Wait the 90s one?
No, Can't Hardly Wait is the one from John Hughes with Jennifer Jason Leigh and
What's the 90s
some
one?
guy.
Then?
Wait, isn't
What's
it
the
Can't Buy
90s
Me
one?
Love? I thought it was Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy
What?
Me Love is a Beatles
It's a
song.
Beatles song.
Wait, no, Can't Hardly Wait is the 90s one.
Right?
Yeah. I think
I
it's Can't
thought
Buy
John
Me
was
Love.
right too. Vanessa, you betrayed us. How dare you?
I knew the name of this movie earlier in the evening.
Well, Google Can't Buy Me Love movie.
It's not Can't Buy Me Love either.
No,
At least
it's
not the one
definitely
that
not
I was
Can't Buy Me
thinking
Love.
of, which is a
Okay.
movie. Okay, this movie, I'm going to figure out what it's called again. I did it before.
I mean,
Oh,
we're
I still
talking
have-
about like 16 Candles.
It's not 16 Candles.
But
I
what's
still
the
have
other
Pedal
one?
Tube open on my browser somehow, Vanessa.
Look,
All right. All right. I'm going to listen. I don't want to be this guy, but I'm going to do it. Where the fuck were we in the game? What's happening in the game? We met Bade and Shadis, and then we had to go camp.
Yeah,
Some
it was,
kind
It
of
was
wonderful.
rushes. Fuck. I tried.
I was definitely talking about Can't Buy Me Love.
some kind of wonderful.
But
John,
the one I was
don't cut
talking
this out
about
of
was
the
Can't
show.
Buy Me Love.
I tried. Okay?
For
Listeners?
sure. The one that I don't think I've seen Some Kind
I'm
of
trying.
Wonderful, but I have seen Can't Buy Me Love, and that is totally the movie I am talking about. Patrick Dempsey was the nerd.
What
Does
is happening?
sound familiar to you, Vanessa?
No, I'm talking
No.
about some kind
Doesn't
of
sound
wonderful.
familiar to anybody that wasn't born in the fucking 70s, John. For
Where
fuck's sake.
Eric Stoltz was the boy from the wrong side of the track.
Okay.
And Lee Thompson was the hot girl. And
Is
Mary
it
Stuart
Lee? I always
Manson.
thought it was Leah.
I think it is Leah.
Vanessa.
Is she Back to the Future girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Howard the Duck Girl.
Oh yeah.
Howard the Duck.
So basically this guy, Bade, is asking for, well, first Nina comes in and says she wants to help get Bade and Shadis together because it's obvious Shadis likes Bade, but is with Zig because Zig is like a big dumb muscle bear.
Is she with Zig? All he does is stand in front of her and flex his muscles.
Yeah, she doesn't seem super into that. I gotta say, it works on me. I don't know what Shadis's problem is, but it seems like she's more into Bade. What, Vanessa? Can you help explain?
Yeah, Bates a magician.
Yeah, oh boy.
Peter Tapio was telling me there's an episode of Monk where Steve Valentine plays a magician.
Steve Valentine doesn't play a magician. Steve Valentine is a magician. And there is an episode of Monk in which he does magic tricks.
Well, that's great.
Oh.
So you're saying you'd rather go for Bade than Zig?
Yes. I really, really, really don't want Zigga Zigga.
Well,
Okay.
can I just say that I personally, I guess if you guys are going to force me into it, I'll go for Shadis.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a halter top and little short shorts and a bandana.
She looks like she grew up in Florida.
She does. She definitely has a Florida vibe going on there. And I am here for it.
Well, I got
I'm
news for you.
glad that this game has something for all of us.
It does. This
Except
is
for Jim.
wonderful. And Jim, there's that monkey person that hangs out with Zig.
Did we talk about the cats in this town? This town is full of cats, and I love it.
And I forget what they said there was a reason why the cat town was full of cats, and it wasn't that it was like full of fish.
The cats
It's
are the
John.
symbol of the guild.
John, Vanessa.
Oh, that's right.
The reason that the town is full of cats is because the town has memories.
I can't wait to see that movie. It looks amazing.
I can't wait to record our special Square Roots episode about it.
Oh, yes, there has to be one about the heaven side layer.
The heavy side layer. Thank you very much.
Sorry, the heavy side layer. Oh, God.
I'm just still
I can't
so
wait to
taken
see
with
it.
my own joke, guys.
I want to
So
go
good.
see that with you, Vanessa. Is that going to be out when you're in
Oh,
state
did I
that
tell
can't
you?
be named?
I
Hey, gang.
think it's not till Christmas.
I saw my mother last weekend and agreed to take her to see that movie.
Oh,
Yes.
yay! We're all going to watch it and talk about
I'm
it. That's
definitely
great.
going to see it opening weekend.
My cavities
All right,
a mystery
so,
cat. He's
finally-
called
so
the
they-
hidden power.
We
For he's a master criminal.
After we,
who
Okay.
can
tell-
defy
Stop
the
it.
law.
This
after
is
we
not-
tell Zig,
No spoilers,
or after we
Vanessa.
tell Bade that he should go, we will help him like clear out the lighthouse so that he can win over the heart of Shadis. Zig hears us and then it's like, well, no. Oh no, actually no. What causes Bade to agree with us? Because there's this, I'm missing a step in between.
I
What
don't think
brings
you are. I
Bade?
think you got it.
No, because that's the end of that. How does Bade? I guess I know Zig knocks down Bade for some reason, right?
No, we convince Bade that Bade Zig overhears us telling Bade that we'll help him clean out the lighthouse. And
Yeah.
Zig gets pissed off and challenges him to a fight and says that whoever wins the fight will get to clean out the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then,
doesn't he also knock? Doesn't he also knock Zig or Zig knocks Bade down?
I don't know.
There's
Maybe.
some shot of that. Anyway, so Bade's like, all right, help me. I'll give you $1,000, buy me gear, make me into a real warrior, make me a tough man. And then we have a training montage, except instead of a montage, we go through the training.
Yeah. It's a mini game and John can talk about it. John, you can talk about it at the end.
Yeah. So we get him all buffed up and ready to fight and then totally cheat because Zig keeps basically it's supposed to be a one-on-one duel, but Zig keeps turning his head to wave at Shadis, which is incredible because then you can like cast all your heal magics and protect spells on Bade. So you don't actually like that terrible Prima guide tells you to spend 3 days doing this. You need to spend like 1 day doing it. It's fine. You don't have to spend that much time on it because, you can cheat and it's fine. It's actually pretty fun because you get to like cheat through this match. There's a fun mechanic, of you can only heal when the guy's head's turned and, it's a really easy fight, but then
Did
you
he
have to
catch
go
you?
to the
He
lighthouse.
caught me once.
He didn't catch me because, all I did was like 1 or 2 moves. He'll catch you if you hit him or he'll turn back. You can get 1 hit on him.
I got
But you
caught
don't need to.
because I had Ryu cast heal, but Ryu's agility is super low, so he went last basically. Because
Oh, really?
listeners, this is how it works. It's real weird. It is like a standard turn-based battle, except your 3 characters are on the side, but you still have to like, what did you do? I just picked defend every turn.
Yeah, I defended. And then when his head was turned, I had Nina, because she's the fastest, do everything, do all the cheating. But also, she's so fast that she gets extra moves in
Yeah.
between turns, which is fun.
Yeah.
And so does, but actually Ryu's really fast for me too. He's
Really?
almost as fast as she is. Yeah,
Oh.
he gets extra turns a lot too.
I have found that the better my like weapons and armor get, the worse my agility gets. It's down to like fucking
Right.
5 at this point.
There's the Claymore, which really reduces your agility, the super powerful sword. So I didn't equip it because I was like, no, I'd rather have the agility and not miss and have more turns. So, you can make choices. And I try to keep his agility high so that I could do more stuff. Anyway, so, Bade wins the fight. Zig is knocked out. The monkey is upset. Shadis is enamored by this, display of frankly toxic masculinity. But, yeah, they're so happy with us helping out for some reason that, he gives you a guild membership so that you can get into the lighthouse. And at the lighthouse, we have to figure out why the lighthouse is off, other than it's full of monsters. There's an engine that you have to turn on with a whole mini game attached to it that, you see, I'm running HDMI through a splitter and then through my capture box and then out to my TV. And that's how I'm playing these games. But unfortunately that adds a big delay. So trying to do this timing stuff is impossible. So I couldn't do it. But I put it on my Vita and did it second try. So
What is game supposed to be like? How it go?
I'll talk about that in the mini game corner.
Okay.
Let's go. So I couldn't get past this. This is the first time I haven't completed a segment for this show, and I feel very ashamed. And that is going to gloat. So Matt, here's your gloating corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode Square Roots, episode 172.
Not counting bonus episodes.
And for the first time in the history of this show, I am the only one that knows what happens from this point on. I'm the only one that is caught up. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just caught up. I'm like 2 chunkers ahead. It's crazy. I just want you to soak it in, please. Everyone.
I will catch up tonight. Don't worry,
Get a
listeners.
whiff.
I had like 3 12-hour shifts today or this week. It was really bad. I'm very sorry. I let everyone down.
Cool. John, cool? Cool.
All right. Vanessa was very busy too.
I feel no shame.
I guess Jim also was busy too, but couldn't stick around to fess up to his crimes.
We had to talk about woods porn.
So,
what happened next, Matt?
John, where were we?
Yeah. Matt, now you're in
I know,
charge,
You're
and
in
you get to
charge.
tell
Where
us
did
what
we leave
happened.
off? We trained Bade. We went to the lighthouse.
I was trying to turn
There's
on the engine.
There's some fun puzzles at the lighthouse, but eventually you get to the top of the lighthouse. You flip the switch, you turn the bulb back on, and lo and behold, what happens? Some fairies show up and yell at you. Yes, fairies.
Yay!
And these fairies, let me tell you about the design of these fairies. They're tiny naked children. These tiny naked befutterflied wings. Yes, befutterflied. These tiny naked befutterflied wings children show up and demand that you turn the light off and try to hit the switch that turned the light on, but instead, in trying to do so, break it so that it is stuck on and they can't turn it off. And then they yell at you and tell you that the monster that has been eating them and destroying their people has to have the light off. So now you have to come find them on the beach. So you leave the town of Rhapsodil or whatever it's called, and you go to the beach.
Rhapsodil, yeah.
Yep. And you go to the beach or the flower circle. You go to the flower circle. What they do is they give you the flower tiara, and the flower tiara makes it so when you walk into one of the flower circles on the world map, you can transport to Fairy Town. So you go to Fairy Town, and they tell you that a monster lives in the ocean, lives in the sea. Fairy Town is on a beach. And they tell you that a monster lives in the ocean and has threatened to eat them and kill them if the light doesn't go away.
So the monster hates the light.
Yes. The
Okay.
monster hates the light. So Ryu, Nina, and Momo, or Gar, I suppose,
I guess
down.
the monster wouldn't like Kingdom Hearts because,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because Kingdom Hearts is light.
Yeah.
So you go down.
It is?
Vanessa,
I guess I know now.
I'm shocked that you didn't know
Without
that.
a doubt. That Kingdom Hearts is light.
So you decide to spend the night on the beach. And a pink fin appears in the water. The pink fin is accompanied by really very close to sounding like Jaws music, but not quite sounding like Jaws music. And after a bit of a cutscene where the fin swims through the water and the music almost sounds like Jaws, the fin jumps up on or crests the beach, and it turns out to be a dolphin.
What?
A pink dolphin lands on the beach, and the dolphin is really nice, but has an Australian accent. And explains that no, I'm not the monster that's been eating these fairies. And Nina and Momo decide to run off and tell the fairies, don't worry, this isn't the monster that threatened to eat you. And once... I'm bummed that you guys didn't make it this far, because it's real dumb. Once the ladies leave, the dolphin, in very thick Australian accent, tells you that now that the Sheilas are gone, he's gonna tell you, the male, that he is the monster, and that he's gonna eat you. And then the game stops.
Okay.
And then the game stops and says, for you English speakers that do not speak Australian, would you like to repeat this scene in English?
What?
What?
And then you repeat the scene, and he tells you that, hey, I actually am the monster, and now that the ladies are gone, I was trying to be cool around the ladies, because, you know, I like ladies. But now that they're gone, you better turn that light off, or I'm going to eat you.
What?
Wow. I take it we aren't taking any guff from Australian or
No, and now I have to be honest with you, I don't remember.
Monsters.
I think that then your teammates come back, I think. And, my memory's a little fuzzy on that, but, you fight the dolphin. It is like a mini boss.
I've always wanted to get in a fight with the dolphin.
And he stands up out of,
like
the
jerks.
dolphin stands up out of the water and is like a big armored dolphin man. It looks like a dolphin but then it stands up and turns into a mini boss, basically.
Is it another in the category of big, beefy, sexy anthro muscle dudes?
No, because it's not. It's like a big, weird armored thing. But anyway, you fight off the dolphin. You beat the dolphin, and the fairy people tell you, well, great, thank you for saving our lives, but we don't know how to live because we don't live in the forest anymore, and we don't know what we're going to do. We're probably going to die. And that's kind of where you leave it with
Jeez.
See ya.
This game does a lot of that.
It's kind of just like, we'll see you later. So off you head. That was the lighthouse. Okay. Sorry. At this point, we head back to, what's it called? Rappel? Repel?
Rapella?
Something. We go back there and
Rapala.
You can, in fact, I think you can probably do this beforehand as well. At this point, I went back and talked to, Shadis and Bayed, and they told me, thanks, but now that the light's on, the ship is still not back. So, still can't help you, actually. But Shadis tells you, but we actually do, our guild has a secret passage through the volcano. And, if you go to our father, if you go to my father, he will write you a note that will let you pass through our secret passage. So,
permission slip.
Yeah. You get a permission slip, and you take it to the volcano, and here's like a mini dungeon. And it's, I don't know, it's a mini dungeon.
One of my Twitch, I think a listener / Twitch viewer was saying that dungeon is the best place to grind. At least
So
right around now.
There is in the volcano, there is an enemy called a Vulcan, and it's a big stone head, and you can attack it a bunch, and it has a high defense, but it doesn't do anything. So it takes a while to kill, but it does nothing, it doesn't fight back. But if you attack it with fire magic, it comes alive, and you can murder it very quickly with ice magic after that. But if you do that, it becomes worth 300 experience.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So, as we're all playing the game, we know the experience is low on a lot of stuff. 300 is a ton. So yes, it's a great place to grind because you can go in there and fight these Vulcans and get a ton of experience. So the volcano dungeon is, it's a dungeon. There's some stuff, there's some treasures. I don't know. It's not worth getting into. But at the end, there is a little boss. I don't know. It's a mini boss. It's like 2 fire lava serpents and like a zombie man. I guess that it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't tie into anything. So you defeat you get through the volcano, and you get out on the eastern side of the continent. And now you can finally access Angel Tower, but if you go there, you can't get into it. There's a town.
Good Lord, this just goes on and on.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, guys, it sucks, but this is a long. I guess if the game is like this, I said it's very dense. It's kind of a lot of mini dungeons, but they all take about an hour apiece, you know? And then there's a ton of story in between. Our next chunker is like 5 mini dungeons and 1 real dungeon. And it's a few hours worth of stuff.
I thought this game was supposed to be like 40 hours.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I'm shocked too. But anyway, you get out of the volcano, and, you know, it's cool. You're back on the world map. There's a few new fishing spots. There's some stuff to find. There's a town called Junktown that you can find if you wander halfway across the map, and you can buy some hefty stuff there, but it's all super expensive. But you kind of are going to want it for what's coming up. You go to Angel Tower. Angel Tower, you can't get into, but there's a town outside of Angel Tower, and we head there. You have to have Gar in your party at this point, and he has to be in the lead. I ran through the town as Ryu, and so you get into this town. It's a weird, like, monastery town. Everybody's super into this religion. It's like a cult town. And it's all about this ancient evil that was defeated a long time ago, and the heroes that defeated it. And, there is like an ancient guru, an ancient one, but you can't see him. Like, they won't let you in unless you're Gar. And if you're Gar, they're like, "Oh, Gar, welcome back." And they call him.
Is he a guru?
They call him Guardian. Welcome back, Guardian. And if you are Gar and speak to the person in front of the guru's the guru's cave, he'll say, "Well, of course, it's not guru. What is it? Like the head of like a monastery, the monk, the
father, prior."
Sure. The head guy will see you now. And, so you go in as Gar, with Gar and Ryu and whoever your other person is. I always use Nina because she got all the magic. That magic is great, y'all, by the way. Have we talked about how Nina has all the magic and is great?
She
what
is.
are you even talking about, Matt?
Nina?
I thought you were taking us to Angel Tower. Now you're back on Nina. It's so
Anyway,
late.
so what is there a dungeon in this town?
So the town, you guys are going to have a great time with this. The town is weirdly designed, and they specifically say this town is weird. Like if you talk to everybody, which of course you have to, they will tell you this town is weirdly designed to guard against attack. So when you get there, you have to go through like all these stairs and ladders. Everything is like weirdly spaced out and really difficult to get to. Thankfully, the shop and the inn are like right out front because that's, it's a town. So that's all you really care about. But you go and you meet the head of the town, the wise man, and Gar has a weird conversation with him that doesn't make a lot of sense. They just kind of talk about their religion, and the wise man is kind of like, have you come back to rest? Which if you explore the town, you'll find like a stone statue of a guardian that looks like Gar.
So he is a gargoyle. Oh.
It looks like a tomb or like a memorialization or something. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't quite tell you what it is. The wise man asks you, the head of the church or whatever asks Gar if ultimate evil still exists in the world, and Gar says, no, I don't think so, but I'm going to go to Angel Tower. And so he gives you permission to enter Angel Tower.
Okay.
So you leave the town, you can go and, do all the grind. I did a lot of grinding here and I went back, and got Delonzo at this point, the master that you need a ton of weapons for, because I had a ton of weapons at this point. And the volcano is a great place to grind. But eventually you make it into Angel Tower. And I'll tell you this, John and Vanessa, something to be prepared for. The enemies in Angel Tower are the most status effect casting enemies ever in a game.
Oh, no.
And it is the most annoying shit. They like to cast poison. They like to cast confuse. They like to cast blind. They like to kill you with status effects. And it's really annoying. You head up Angel Tower. You kind of have to go up the outside to get in, and then once you're in, you go through the inside, back down towards the bottom. And once you get, it's a pretty standard dungeon, but once you get to the destination, I guess, whatever they decide, whatever it is, Gar asks Nina, hey, can you give Ryu and me a minute? Basically, he's like, hey, only Ryu and I can go ahead. You need to wait here. This is just for Ryu. And you head into a big room, and there are like 4 tombstones around a big pillar or around like a pyramid. And, or not tombstones, but like plaques. And you read them each. They each tell you a name and a number of dragons killed. Or they tell you a name and a number. And the last one you read is Gar, and the number is 399. And Gar tells you...
so close to 400.
Gar tells you that, surprise, his religion are the knights that killed the brood, the dragons that tried to conquer the world. And you're the last of the brood, and you have to die.
Oh no, Gar! He was our friend!
He had such nice muscle cleavage.
And Gar aims to make you Dead Dragon 400.
Oh, so it's a one-on-one versus Gar again.
It is a one-on-one versus Gar, but because of the way this game is set up, you're at least 3 or 4 levels ahead of him. So it's not a very difficult fight, actually.
Wow. So I guess I shouldn't be leveling up Gar.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Not.
You kind of. Here's the thing: you have to have him in the Angel Tower, and he will gain levels. He'll gain a couple of levels through the Angel Tower at least. And if he's too low level, he's going to be a huge pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter because again, you can't take Ryu out of your party. So he always gains the same levels. So he stays 4 levels ahead of Gar.
But is it also one of those things where when they're in boss form, suddenly instead of having 300 hit points,
Yes.
they have like 1600 hit
Yes.
points? And yeah, so I don't think leveling and equipment matters. You can't like strip him down
Yes.
and make him super easy before
Absolutely.
you fight him.
It's not a BioWare
no.
game.
Yeah.
It's not a BioWare game where you can do that. No, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. He still has 1,000 hit points or whatever. You just turn Ryu into a dragon. At this point, right before this fight, you find the Miracle Gene, which turns you into like a legit giant dragon, like Toad Dragon, and lets
wow.
you just wreck
A
this guy.
toad dragon?
Yes, so you've turned into a whelp, and probably at this point you've turned into a dragon, but you're going to be turned into a lot of different kinds of dragon. Because, I don't know,
Okay.
video games.
So you destroy Gar.
So you destroy Gar. You don't destroy Gar. Gar... Oh, I'm a little fuzzy on the details on this, actually. I kind of want to leave it there, actually.
Yeah, that sounds like a good spot to
Leave
leave
Yeah,
us
I
in
think it's a good
suspense.
spot. There's a little bit more, but what happens exactly, I don't really remember. And
Yeah,
also,
let's
that's a great spot to end it on. You
and
fight
it'll be
Gar.
more fun to talk about when all of us have done it.
Yeah.
All right. And I will try my best I'll catch up tonight and then I'll be back to caught up by next episode.
Yeah, me too. And so will Jim.
Well, let's not make any hasty promises here.
Okay. You and Jim.
No, wait, let's not make any other, even somewhat hasty promises here.
Okay, just you.
Yay! It's hard. It's definitely hard catching back up. But I have a lot of free time tonight, so my schedule will work out. Anyway, sorry. I just feel very bad.
Don't feel bad, John. We've all been there.
I know. Not me.
Are you suggesting that I did a bad job explaining everything that happened to the two of you?
No.
No.
No, not at all. I feel bad that I didn't do this part. Anyway, but that's fine. So we'll find out what happens after you win this fight with Gar next time on Square Roots. But before we go, let's go to the bullshit minigame corner. And there's two I want to talk about.
John's bullshit minigame corner. It's time
Number
to talk
one-
about Training Bad. That shit was
Number
awful.
one is Training Bade. So basically, it's a series of 20 round fights against Bade. You could do as many as you want. If he attacks, he gets strength points, sort of determined by the number of amount of damage he does against you. If he is in defense mode, he gets defense points against the amount of number of hits that he defended against. You know, when he's actually like crouching in defense mode. If he takes damage, he gets hit points related to the number of hits he takes. But if you like knock him down during the fight, it's over. So you have to keep healing him and not doing too much damage to knock him down. And it just, and also the battle system's on the slower side. So 20 turns takes a good 20 minutes.
How much do you have to train him?
The game the Prima Guide suggests 3 days of it. So 60 rounds. I suggest maybe 2. I did 2 and it was really easy because
Yeah,
the mechanics of the fight with Zig are he turns his head, and while his head is turned, you can do whatever you want. You can if you attack him, he'll turn back, but if you can heal, you can buff.
Interesting.
And so that fight really only took me a couple of minutes. That fight was way less time than the training.
Yeah, and it sucks because I don't think you needed to spend as much time on the training. I spent a ton of time on it too. I had such a hard time keeping him alive. I did 5 nights of 5 to 10 rounds, and then I did 2 nights of almost full rounds. I don't think I got him through a full night once.
I've
got
gotten him
through
through
one.
a full night once.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I'll get him through a lot of full nights.
He reminds me a bit of what's the name of the guy who's in Community, and he has that late night show where he's a British guy and he talks dweebishly about things.
Joel McHale.
No, the English guy.
John Oliver.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of John Oliver a bit.
Joel
That's who I
McHale.
picture. If it was a movie, I would cast him. The other mini game is this, the one that Vanessa she watched me do, but it's kind of weird. So you have this waveform when you're starting up the motor, And at first the motor isn't giving you like a stable waveform, but eventually it does. But there's a little point on this waveform monitor that the waveform has to hit, and you have to hit the button at the same time. And you can watch it go through its cycle a few times without losing. So watch it a few times to get the idea of the timing, and then hit X when it's hitting that peak, and all the like a couple of white lights light up, so you know when the right time to hit is. But it's
when
super
there's
sensitive.
one peak in the center of the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see it. It like lines up perfectly. And that's when you hit the X button. It's a little tricky, but I did it when once I was off the HDMI and did it on my Vita, I did it the second time. But the problem is, every time you fail, you have to go get more of this chrism. Because this is a hungry chrism hole. This hole is just hungry for chrism, and just like keeps taking load after load of chrism that you either buy at a store or find in a chest. And if you run out of chrism, you have to go back to town and get some chrism pent up so you can really load it full of chrism.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I managed to do it on my second try. So
yeah, I did on the Vita, but with the delay, I just couldn't figure out the timing, and it's just I went through maybe 25 loads of chrism. That was too much chrism, Matt.
Sorry, now that Vanessa is also gone, I forgot that I need to not be vaping.
Yes. So, that's it for John's bullshit mini.
So much chrism in your corner today.
Yes.
Why's your corner so filled with chrism, John?
I just have to load that machine up with chrism. I wonder how, do you think there's just going to be chrism talk throughout the rest of this game?
Yes, it's the energy source. That's all they're going to talk about.
Crystals.
Yeah,
it's like crystals in Final Fantasy.
Yes. Like fucking materia, like fal'Cie and law'Cie, or all the bullshit that was in Final Fantasy 13. They're going to talk about nothing but chrism the whole time.
So it's like the deifacted nethicite, except that it sounds like jism.
Deifacted deficite?
Nethicite. Remember deifacted nethicite and manufactured nethicite from Final Fantasy 12?
Oh god, that's right. These games are so bad. But you know what's not bad? Breath of Fire 3. I have to admit, I gotta tell you, this game's kind of dense, but it's dense with, kind of entertaining story stuff. It's not bad. I don't dislike any of this stuff.
Roundly for or squarely against?
Excellent question, John. I'm roundly for this goofy, stupid fucking game and its stupid story. I love it. This is the episode where we get... Is it here with Momo? Is it the plant where we get one of the most delightful goddamn cutscenes in game history? I think Momo's just talking to Dr. Pallet, and Ryu and Nina get in a fight, and Ryu cries, and Nina consoles him, and then they hug and become best friends again, and it all just happens in the background, and it's fucking delicious. It's delicious. It's delightfully fucking animated and just hilarious and heartwarming and cute. It makes me love these characters more than I've ever loved any of these shitty Final Fantasy characters in any of those shitty games.
They do have a lot of emotion, which I like. They're not just robots, and I really like the amount of care put into all the animations. All the enemies are really fun to watch move, even if they can be annoying. And yeah, I love the little nut soldiers. Those are really cute. All the different types. Oh,
the bosses look great. The monster design and stuff is wonderful. And they're all animated really well. And they all look great. The enemies.
I am roundly for the sprite work in this game. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, God, it is. It's so good.
Vanessa, what are you squarely against or roundly for?
Oh, I'm roundly for that bookish accountant with the cute glasses who you train to be a better man.
Just like either Can't Buy Me Love or that other movie.
That's right. Give me a man I can make over and I'll be happy.
La.
All right. So we have a Patreon. $3 a month gets you access to all our bonus episodes. There's one on Spider-Man. And supporting us with the Patreon really helps. It helps us get equipment, and we're going to get an ad, and Vanessa's getting a Switch and a laptop. We're really amazed by the amount of supporters we've been having. So also on the $5 a month level, you get to vote. And so I think after this game, because it's a long-o, we're probably going to do another vote on the next game.
And hopefully it won't be another Fallout, because those games are trash.
Nope. We can't. It's the year of not sequels. So, not Fallout.
And we're already halfway through the year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. We're in the back half of 2019. We're almost at 2020. So, Matthew.
Yes.
One of the rewards we give to our patrons is that we read their names out. Why don't you read the first half of this list?
So here's our big thank you to our patrons. Ward Childress, Jameson, Andrew Granieri, Worcestershire. I did it. French Pico Soup. That sounds good. Brian Stone, Huxley Iguana, Brady A. Bourbon, Jonathan Lee, Zachary Davis, Randy Pierce, Mac Jorgensen, that's right, Cameron Shoey, Jonathan Ellsworth, Reddit is Harold Lauder. Fine, say everyone's name, at least it annoys Matt. Jonathan, excuse me, that's not what that says. Nope. No. John Kissick, Andy Best, Chris Pignac, George Brady has slain the father of Julian Titus, was a ghost the whole time. Wash in the Wind, Tracy Tanoff, Brody Toy, Cake Ninja, Bobby Midkiff, Aaron Bachman, Kevin Shipley, Jake Dickerson, Jared Collins, Eric Garby, Devin Sloan, Ron, Mary Queen of Scoffs, Joseph, Stu Skeel, Vanessa's mom, Robert Impullum, Vanessa's mom again, Benjamin Abner, Wonder Swan, an old yellering in the wasteland, Tyler Petty's Medea's Disc 3 Crazy, Owen Marble, Race Jenkins, Majora's Mask or We Riot, Tom, Cyril the Wolf, James Hotstetler,
Julia Zanella, Label Sex, Sean Walsh, Kyle, Brian Pitt, stop looking at me like that, Florian Jonas Kramer, Justin Ham, Alex Dullard, or Dullard? Alex, tell us how to pronounce your name. Stephen Kroc, Dr. Steve Stone, Sean Gonzalez, Tom Hardman, Gregory T. Bumpkins, G. Bailey, Rusty Kamada, Paul Birsch. Ooh, lots of new names here. Hi, Paul. And Stephen Kroc, too. Oh, wow. Tom Hardman, Gregory T. Bumpkins, G. Bailey, Rusty Kamada, Paul Birch, David Shook, Robert T. Mishi Draws, Jason, Naked Orphans is not a good way to start an RPG, Vanessa's fourth mom, Ross Disney, Megan Sullivan, Michael Crawford, Jim's appendix is not a fan of Nawford, PJ Enns, Jordan O'Boyle, Nathan Poirot, Just Jerry, help, Trendy Beef Setter's onto me, Patrick W. Bears, Miguel Torres, Ross Hartley, Sammy Mitchell, Andy M, R.I.P. Dogmeat, Kyle, Bree Girth, Galendo, Kiva Moser, and DJ Ethro. And don't forget to send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you can't do that or just don't want to, go to our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people. The literal only reason I haven't deleted Facebook. You can also tweet at us at Square Roots Pod.
Same.
Thanks to Stephen Morris for his covers of Country Livin', Can't See You Clearly Now, and Cedar Woods. Check out Stephen Morris's EP, Relaxin', a 5-track EP of relaxing Nintendo music. Mega Buster, a 5-track EP featuring music from the first 5 Mega Man games. Cries of the Planet, a 9-track album featuring Final Fantasy VII music. Forest VGM, an 11-track album featuring Forest video game music, the majority of from classic RPGs and Summer VGM. And Summer VGM, a 12-track album featuring summer video game music. Links to these, as well as his Twitter, Patreon, and YouTube, are in the show notes. please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. For Square Roots, I'm John Brandon.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
And I'm Vanessa. Bye.
Bye. And,
Bye, guys. Bye, listeners. I have to go do a boring work thing. So I'll see you next week.
Bye.
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 Aw, Jim's returned to his home planet. I guess it's just us, Vanessa.
Okay. I guess that means it's time for Sierra Roots.
Ooh, what game do you want to talk about this time? Maybe Manhunter New York?
Maybe Laura Bow 2, The Dagger of Ammon-Ra?
Ooh. Which do you prefer, Colonel's Bequest or Dagger of Ammon-Ra?
I like Dagger of Ammon-Ra. It's set in the city. You see Laura living her life as a ballsy young journalist. It has romance. It has art. It is completely broken, as far as I recall. I don't think it's possible to get 100% completion.
I don't know if I got 100%, but I definitely got super sleuth.
Nice.
Like, you know, when you get the thermostat at the end of the game that measures how good you've done, and I made it explode.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. I played that game a lot.
It's got Ziggy. It's got Ziggy's head.
Yep, Ziggy's head. You get someone, I think Ziggy was killed by a pterodactyl replica that was stabbed through him, and then his head was cut off with a paper cutter.
Right. Like you do.
There was Archibald Carrington III, who was impaled on a stuffed porcupine. There was how was Yvette killed? Or not Yvette. What was the name of the French lady in that one?
I don't remember. I do remember she was having a tryst with someone.
Everybody?
Everybody?
Well, she had a thing with the policeman,
right?
And with the fencer, Ernie, I think. Who it sure seems like he not only was a fencer that painted and built fences, but also was a fencer that fenced stolen items. I wasn't totally sure because he seemed to be really keeping his fencing business on the down low. But then also the cop at the end makes a comment that he really liked his fences.
Yeah, that's a sort of common thing that Sierra likes to do, a little wordplay. And it's always enjoyable. I don't actually know when Matt's going to come back, so maybe we should move on.
Let's
We have a lot to talk about.